Growing up in an orphanage, I've seen more than my fair share of the world's coldness. So when I found out I was the long-lost daughter of a wealthy family, I swore I was only in it for the money, not the affection. The day before going home, I binged a ton of real versus fake heiress novels, learning countless schemes to use when I got there. I decided my persona would be the sweet, scheming girl. If the fake heiress dared to compete with me, I'd act weak and pitiful, secretly stirring up trouble. I heard my family was one of the richest in the country. Maybe with a little effort, I'd be tripping over gold bars wherever I went. Then I'd be set for life. With my goal set and my resolve firm, I set off on my journey home. But standing outside the luxurious mansion, my heart started pounding. In a city like Beijing, where every inch of land is worth a fortune, they owned an entire mountain. Was the bit of high society knowledge I'd picked up from novels really enough to take on the fake heiress? But I was already here. Might as well give it a shot, you never know, I could turn my bike into a motorcycle. Puffing out my chest, I confidently rang the doorbell. The moment I stepped inside, two people pulled me into a tight hug. "Oh, my daughter, you're finally home. Your mother has missed you to death. Sweetheart, you must have suffered so much out there. Don't worry, Daddy will make it all up to you from now on." No one had ever been this affectionate with me in my entire life. I was completely unused to it and subconsciously pushed them away. Taking 2 steps back, I asked warily, What are you doing?" The lavishly dressed, slightly plump woman spoke to me cautiously, "Suli, I'm your mother." The balding CEO next to her nodded. "That's right, we're your parents. You saw the photo we sent you, right?" I twitched my lips and pulled out the photo. I compared it carefully several times. There was only the slightest resemblance. "You're telling me this woman is the same as the impeccably styled, influencer-like lady in the photo? And the man next to her, the domineering CEO with a full head of hair, a ramrod-straight posture, and not a single wrinkle on his face, is supposed to be him?" The two of them looked a little embarrassed. "Well, we wanted to make a good first impression." There were 2 other people in the photo besides them, a boy and a girl. The boy must be my biological brother, and the girl. My eyes darkened. She had to be the fake heiress who took my place. "Mom, Dad, you're scaring her." A deep, cool voice. That must be my legendary domineering CEO brother, Shernyen. I turned my head and saw 2 people sitting on the sofa. The man who had just spoken, though his voice was cold, looked at me with nothing but gentleness in his eyes. "Shaoli, welcome home." I didn't let my guard down, just nodded. "Thank you, brother." Then I glanced at the handsome man next to him. Probably his friend. He was pretty good-looking. I scanned the room, but I didn't see any other girls. The fake heiress wasn't here. I hadn't forgotten who had stolen my identity. For her to be absent now, according to the novel plots, she must be angry with me, hiding upstairs and refusing to come down. She might have even been on a hunger strike for days. I immediately put on a pitiful expression. "Dad, Mom, brother, where's the sister who took my place? I don't see her. She doesn't resent my return, does she?" To make myself look even more aggrieved, I even faked a little sniffle. The next second, my mother, who had been so gentle with me moments ago, had a complete change of expression. I sneered inwardly. Asterisk, I knew it. She still favors the fake heiress, asterisk. But what happened next was completely unexpected. "Sure, weren't you just clamoring yesterday about how your little sister was finally coming home? Who are you trying to impress with this cool and detached act? You really think that's handsome? Don't you dare scare my daughter." I stared blankly at the person sitting next to Shernyen. "Wait, this handsome guy, no, this is the fake heiress who took my place? Holy crap. She's that handsome?" She had a mullet, was dressed in a full suit, and was leaning back against the sofa with her long legs crossed, her posture lazy and casual. But that wasn't the main point. The main point was her face. A high-bridged nose, deep-set eyes, thin, rosy lips. She was devastatingly handsome, okay? I had even wondered if this was the person I was supposed to marry in an arranged marriage. For crying out loud, and now you're telling me this is the fake heiress who took my place? Hearing this, sure you looked a little uncomfortable. She stood up, came over, and ruffled my hair. "Sorry. It must have been hard on you, little sister, with me taking your place for over 20 years. I stared at her, stunned. Seriously, how is she so tall? My head only reaches her chest. Mom, Dad, now that my sister is back, as we agreed, I can move out now, right? Shiryu's words snapped me back to reality. Humph. It seems I was fooled by her looks. She's still trying to make our parents choose between us. I was just about to pitifully say that I'd be fine living in my dorm and wouldn't want to disturb anyone, when I saw my parents wave a dismissive hand. Go on, go on. You're a pain to have around the house anyway. We need to spend some quality time bonding with your sister. Huh? 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 Is this for real? Now I was truly confused. Could it be that all those real versus fake Heiress novels lied to me? No, I absolutely cannot be fooled. Sister, this is your home too. You really don't have to move out because of me. I usually live in the school dorms, so I won't have many chances to come back. I won't get in your way. I rushed out my lines before they could interrupt my rhythm. Shiryu leaned down to look me straight in the eye, then a slow smile spread across her lips. My heart skipped a beat. God, how can she be so handsome? You're a sensible kid. Don't worry, it's not because of you. I've wanted to move out for a long time, but they wouldn't let me. Now that you're back, I can finally get some peace and quiet. Help me, does no one know I'm a total sucker for a pretty face? I wanted to fight her for this family, but how am I supposed to fight her when she's like this? I kind of just want to give myself to her. Putting my thoughts into action, I threw my arms around her slim waist. Okay, sister. I get it, sister. I'll be sure to take good care of Mom and Dad, sister. The move startled everyone. Shiryu's body stiffened for a moment, but she quickly relaxed and ruffled my hair again. Good girl. My plan to fight the fake heiress for the family fortune was officially declared a failure. I, Suli, am now Shiryu's #1 fangirl. Mom and Dad showed me to the room themselves. It was massive, equipped with everything you could imagine. Sweetheart, if you don't like the decor, just tell the butler. He'll have it redone for you. And if you're missing anything, just have the butler get it for you. Here, take this card and go shopping. There's only a little over 50 million in it for now. The paperwork for the no-limit black card is still being processed, but we'll give it to you as soon as it's ready. After they finished, Shernyen tossed 2 car keys to me. Just a little something. Take them for a spin once you get your license. Shiryu threw 2 jewelry boxes my way. I designed these especially for you. Only 2 sets are finished right now, the rest are on a rush order. From now on, if you need jewelry for any occasion, you just come to me. My head was spinning from all the gifts. I pinched my arm, hard. Mom, Dad, brother, sister. I'm not dreaming, am I? That one little pinch sent my parents into a panic, their faces flushing. You silly girl, of course we should be doing this for you. And if you have to pinch someone, don't pinch yourself. A young lady's skin is so delicate. Pinch your dad or your brother. They're big men, they can take it. Help me, this is pure bliss. Shiryu is several years older than me. I heard that I was stolen shortly after I was born and that my parents could never find me. To console themselves, they adopted Shiryu. The family power struggle I'd braced myself for turned out to be a total joke. They all doted on me, it felt like the whole world was mine. My head was in a daze the entire afternoon. That evening, Mom and Dad took me out for dinner. Shernyen drove, with Mom and me in the back. Shiryu took her own car and left, though I don't know where she went. As we walked into the lavish private dining room of the hotel, my eyes immediately locked onto one person. Wasn't that our school's heartthrob, Shin Bufan? What was he doing here? My mom made the introductions. Sweetheart, this is your Uncle Shin, and this is your Aunt Shin. Our families go way back. Hello, Uncle Shin. Hello, Aunt Shin. I greeted the kind-faced middle-aged couple. They nodded at me, their smiles warm and genuine. Wonderful, wonderful. It's good to have you home. Here, this is a little welcome gift. On a red silk box sat a jade bangle. The way the light passed through it under the hotel lamps, a translucent, brilliant green, you could tell it was incredibly valuable at a glance. "Uncle, Auntie, this is..." "Just take it," Shinbufan suddenly said. Every eye in the room turned to him. The tips of his ears were bright red. He brought a fist to his mouth and gave a light cough. "It was going to be yours sooner or later anyway." I didn't quite understand, but it felt like it would be rude to refuse again, so I had to bite the bullet and accept it. After we were seated, the menu was somehow placed in my hands. They were all waiting for me to order. A quick glance told me that some of the dishes cost more than my living expenses for an entire month. I was too scared to order anything, so Shinbufan took the menu from me. "I'll do it. Sweet and sour pork with pineapple, sweet and sour spare ribs." What a coincidence. He ordered all my favorite things. But was it really okay to order food like this in such a fancy hotel? As the evening went on, I realized that even though the Shur and Shin families were both incredibly wealthy, they weren't stuck up at all. They were friendly, easy to talk to, and so gentle with me. "You know, our two families actually have a childhood engagement," Aunt Shin said, dropping a bombshell. "When little Lee wasn't home, we didn't pay it much mind. But now, the more I look at her, the more I adore her. Why don't we let little Fan and Lee spend some more time together?" I instantly understood why we were having dinner tonight. I had been so dazed by my sudden good fortune that I hadn't even guessed they'd brought me home for a marriage alliance. "Now, that's not right," my mom said, sounding genuinely upset. "How can a childhood engagement still count? Nobody does arranged marriages anymore. Our little Lee just got home, and I want to have her with me for a few more years." That just confused me all over again. My dad pouted. "Exactly. I could support my daughter for her entire life, I don't need any, what engagement? I don't remember anything about it." The atmosphere turned suddenly awkward. I glanced up at Shinbufan and unexpectedly met his eyes. His face was beet red. Seeing me look at him, he started frantically piling food onto his parents' plates in a transparent attempt to cover his embarrassment. "Mom, Dad, eat up. Stop talking. Was this really the legendary ice prince from our school?" He was nothing like the rumors. Everyone had started eating, but Shiryu still hadn't arrived. I couldn't help but start wondering again. Since my family and the Shins were old family friends, she must have known Shinbufan for ages. Shiryu knew he would be at this dinner, yet she didn't show. Could it be that she... Of course. According to all the novel tropes, after I disappeared, the engagement would have naturally fallen to Shiryu. So, was she angry? My suspicion was quickly dispelled. A waiter pushed open the door to the room, and Shiryu walked in, a pretty girl in a white dress at her side. It took me only a second to understand. So, Shiryu, she was... "Mom, Dad, I picked up a friend on the way. Hope you don't mind," she said. In response, my mom and dad just rolled their eyes. "Picking someone up is fine, but what took you so long? Come on, sit down and eat before the food gets cold." It seemed like they were okay with it, though still a little annoyed. My mind had already flown elsewhere. Oh my God, what kind of family was this? Dinner passed quickly. Just as I was about to leave the room, Shinbufan called out to me. He stammered a little. Lee, can we exchange contact info? I heard you go to my school. If you ever need anything, you can find me. I'm always free." I nodded. "Okay, sure." Mom, Dad, my brother, and my sister all turned to see this, stopping dead in their tracks. I had wanted to chat a bit more with Shinbufan, but I quickly shut my mouth and hurried to catch up with them. When we got to the underground parking garage, Shiryu said she was taking the pretty lady home and that I should come along. I didn't object, taking the hint and getting into the back seat. The pretty lady gave me a couple of smiles and, after Shiryu opened the door for her, slid elegantly into the passenger seat. The whole ride, I kept staring at the two of them up front. Shiryu caught my eye in the rearview mirror and chuckled. "Go on, spit it out. What do you want to ask?" I opened my mouth. "Shiryu, you and the pretty lady." "Ahem," Shiryu said, the tips of her ears turning slightly red. "She's my girlfriend." Damn. I knew I was right. The pretty lady turned around and smiled at me. Our meeting was a bit rushed today, so I didn't get a chance to prepare a gift for you. I'll bring you something next time. I nodded dumbly. Thank you. Soon we pulled up in front of the pretty lady's building. Sure, you got out to walk her to the door, looking like she didn't want to let go. I sat in the back, watching them embrace. I have to admit, it was a beautiful sight. But then, I noticed something. And for a second, I hated myself for knowing exactly what it meant. On the pretty lady's right hand, her middle and ring fingers had no nail art. Sure, you reluctantly got back in the car. Shaoli, now that you're here to be with Mom and Dad, I can finally rest easy. You've suffered so much over the years. The truth is, Mom, Dad, and our older brother never stopped thinking about you. They never gave up looking. Now that you're back, we're all going to treat you so well. And don't worry, Shaoli. I would never try to take what's rightfully yours. I'm so grateful they gave me the chance to experience a different kind of life. From now on, you're not the orphan everyone looked down on anymore. You're the Sher family's cherished treasure. After a surreal weekend, I was back in my dorm but still basking in a happy haze, feeling like I'd just had a beautiful dream. But the string of messages that kept popping up on my phone reminded me that I had truly found people who loved me. Dad, sweetheart, if you run into any trouble at school, remember to tell me. Dad can handle anything for you. Mom, if you don't like living in the dorms, just come home. I'll have the driver take you to and from school every day, there's plenty of time. Brother, did you get to school? Study hard and don't pay any attention to Shinbufan. He's immature. Sister, I designed another set of jewelry for you. See if you like it? Image. Shinbufan, are you at school yet? Want to grab a bite sometime? Still not sure, I pinched myself again. It wasn't a dream. It was all real. After replying to all the messages, I lay on my bed for a while, feeling like my future was bright. Just then, I heard a noise at the door. Someone was back. Seeing it was Andy, I rolled over to face the wall. Ever since the day I moved in and refused to switch beds with her, she's had it out for me, constantly taunting me with sarcastic remarks, making fun of me for not having a mom or dad. I always held my tongue and never sank to her level, but she only got worse, ganging up with the other two girls in the room to isolate me. That's why I really didn't like her. Look at that. Some people are just born to be friendless. Everyone else went out this weekend, and she's just lying in her dorm all by herself. How pathetic. After Andy spoke, the other two girls eagerly agreed. Some people just aren't likable, you know? What's the point of getting good grades? Your life is decided the moment you're born. An orphan? I seriously doubt she'll ever amount to anything. Exactly. She's annoying to everyone she meets. Not like you, Andy. You're smart and you know how to handle people. We'd rather hang out with you. I've been taunted by them so many times that I couldn't be bothered to argue anymore. Only unhappy people like to put others down to make themselves feel important. That sense of superiority would be their downfall someday. I went back to looking at my phone, ignoring their conversation. I heard some big news this weekend, one of my roommates said. You guys know the Sher family, right? The richest in the country? They found their long-lost daughter, the real heiress, who's been missing for over 20 years. Andy scoffed. That's hardly big news. I know more than you do. I heard the heiress spent years in an orphanage but still got good grades and got into a good university. The Sher parents feel so awful for her, they're telling everyone the good news. The fact that they were talking about this definitely caught my attention. Really? With parents and a family like that, all her past suffering wasn't for nothing. It's like a scene from a novel come to life. I really want to meet that heiress if I ever get the chance. I'm so curious about her. PSH, I actually know the heiress. You guys are being so dramatic, Andy said, rolling her eyes. Could Andy know that I'm the heiress? No, that couldn't be right. If she knew, why would she have been taunting me like that just now? The heiress and I are pretty close, Andy continued. I heard her family is throwing a party for her soon, and I'll definitely be going. I'll introduce you two to her when I get a chance. Don't act like you've never been anywhere. The other two roommates got excited. I couldn't help it. I laughed out loud. Chen Andy bristled instantly, like a cat whose tail had just been stepped on. Suli, what are you laughing at? It's really rude to laugh when other people are talking, you know? I blinked innocently. How is it rude? You were talking, and I was laughing. I was laughing at something on my phone. Is that not allowed? You. Chen Andy snorted. You both came from an orphanage, so how come you're not as lucky as her? Suli, you should take a good look at yourself. The fact that you don't have a single friend says a lot about your character. Actually, Chen Andy, I have a question for you. You say you know the recently found heiress. Do you have any proof? I stared into her eyes, not missing the flicker of insecurity that crossed them. Why should I have to prove myself? I said I know her, so I know her. The Chen family and the Sher family have been friends for generations. What would a poor girl like you know? Chen Andy said with a superior air. I pursed my lips. Friends for generations? How come I've never heard that? Chen Andy, I'm not going to lie to you. The truth is, I'm the Sher family's heiress. Before I could finish, Chen Andy burst out laughing. You? Don't be ridiculous. The real heiress is definitely at home enjoying the good life right now. You think she'd be here at school, like you? That's hilarious. If you're going to dream, at least dream of something realistic. Chen Andy clearly didn't believe me. Some people never do things the right way, always looking for shortcuts. They really think fate is on their side. The other two roommates started laughing too. Yeah, look at those shabby clothes she's wearing. How dare she say she's the heiress to the richest family? I bet she didn't even leave the dorm all weekend. She must have gone stir-crazy. None of the three of them believed a word I said. I couldn't be bothered to explain it to them. I'd said my piece, so if they didn't believe me, so be it. All that mattered was living my own life well. The next morning, I had a general ed class. Coincidentally, it was a joint class with Shen Bufon's major. By the time I rushed to the lecture hall, it was already packed. The only seats left were middle ones, sandwiched between other students. With class about to start, I had to suck it up and ask people to let me through. But just as I walked up to a guy, before I could even say anything, someone called out to me. Suli, over here. Huh? The voice was so familiar. I turned, and there was Shen Bufon. He was the campus heartthrob, so he already had a lot of eyes on him. Shouting like that just made everyone turn to look at us. I was a little embarrassed, but Shen Bufon, blushing, came right over and tugged on my sleeve. Come sit over here. I saved you a spot. The bell for class rang right then, so I didn't have much choice and just sat down beside him. You said you were busy last night and couldn't have dinner with me, he whispered, leaning in. What about lunch today? You can make it, right? He was so close I could feel my face flush. I have to admit, there was a good reason Shen Bufon was considered the campus heartthrob. He was handsome and tall, with such a youthful charm. I once passed the basketball courts while he was playing and happened to look up just as he lifted the hem of his jersey to wipe off his sweat. The sight of his perfectly sculpted eight-pack and his lean waist, it was impossible to look away. The fangirls around him were screaming their heads off, and I just stood there quietly, watching for so long that I completely forgot I was on my way to the library. I don't think so. The two of us eating alone, isn't that a little inappropriate? Shen Bufon looked hurt. I'm being so forward already. Don't you understand what I mean? You've been watching me for so long, when have you ever seen me get this close to any other girl? Wait, how did he know I was always watching him? I've liked you since the first time I saw you in this lecture. But you always seemed so distant, so I never dared to just approach you. Now that I finally have this chance, I really don't want to miss it. Suli, I used to hate the whole idea of the betrothal our parents arranged. But when I found out it was you, I was really happy. If you're willing, would you like to get to know each other? This was all so sudden. I felt like my face was hot enough to give off steam, and I could only stammer. I. Shen Bufon must have thought he was scaring me, because he quickly backpedaled. I'm not trying to pressure you. I just wanted to tell you. If you don't like me, then I'll just have to try harder. Where did this sweet boy come from? How could he be so adorable? I cleared my throat. Getting to know each other, well, I guess that's not out of the question. His eyes instantly lit up. I quickly turned to face the front. Class has started. Let's listen to the professor. After that, I had a class for my major. I said a quick goodbye to Shin Bufan and left. On my way, though, Chen Andi stopped me. She stared at me with hatred. When did you get to know Shin Bufan? Why was he acting so familiar with you? I raised an eyebrow. Oh? I thought you were always bragging in the dorm about how close you are with Shin Bufan. How is it you didn't even know he knows me? Who knows what tricks you used to seduce him? You're shameless. All of Chen Andi's malice toward me was finally out in the open. You just wait, she spat. I'm going to make sure he finds out what you're really like. I didn't have class in the afternoon, so I went home for dinner. Mom and Dad kept piling food onto my plate until it was stacked high like a little mountain. My brother and sister were both busy with work and didn't come back, so it was just the three of us at the dinner table. Lee, honey, we're planning to throw a welcome party for you this weekend. Is there a particular style you'd like? I can have the butler start preparing. I couldn't believe Chen Andi was actually telling the truth. They really wanted to throw a party for me. I put down my chopsticks. You don't have to do all that. It's a family matter, so we can just celebrate as a family, right? That just won't do, my dad said firmly. My precious daughter is home, and I want the whole world to know. I thought for a moment. How about this? We can combine the welcome party with my birthday party. It could be the Friday after next. A welcome party is a welcome party, and a birthday party is a birthday party. They're not the same thing, my mom disagreed. You didn't grow up with us. We just want to give you more, so how could we possibly combine the two parties into one? Mom, Dad, I know you mean well, but there's no rush. It would be much better to introduce me to everyone formally at my birthday party. So, it's decided. Don't worry about it anymore. I put my foot down, so they couldn't really argue. Alright, in that case, I'll have the butler plan your birthday party meticulously. We'll start preparations early and double the scale. Yes, that's much better. Since we're combining them, we have to make it bigger. The two of them launched into an intense discussion. Listening to them made my head ache. What was I supposed to do? It's hard to deal with parents who love to show off. When I got back to the dorm carrying the new designer bag my mom had given me, only Chen Andi was there. She glanced at the small, exquisite black bag in my hand and snorted. So even poor people have vanity. You even know to buy fakes to save face. I couldn't be bothered to deal with her, so I just tossed the bag on my bed. When I came out of the bathroom, I saw Chen Andi staring at my bag, so I put it away in my locker. She acted as if she'd been deeply insulted. What do you think you're doing? You think I'm going to steal your fake bag or something? I rolled my eyes. It's my bag, I'll put it wherever I want. Why are you so possessive of it? Don't be so sensitive. She was so angry she was speechless. She just looked down and started furiously tapping on her phone, probably texting someone to complain about me. The next day, Chen Andi came back to the dorm carrying a small bag identical to the one I'd brought back yesterday. She was dramatically explaining to our other two roommates, this bag is a limited edition. It's the only one in the entire country right now. Here, look, isn't it gorgeous? Look at the hardware and the craftsmanship. It's absolutely to die for. The two roommates gathered around her bag, gushing over it. Listening to them, I just found it funny. Last night, my mom told me the bag was a limited edition, but I hadn't paid much attention. Now, seeing Chen Andi show it off like this, it seemed like it was actually true. But I knew for a fact my bag wasn't a fake, which meant Chen Andi's was. Whatever. As long as she's happy. I thought that would be the end of it, but I never expected her to come looking for trouble the very next day. After this class, I was heading home anyway, so I slung my bag over my shoulder. My plan was to grab a cab and leave as soon as the bell rang. But when class let out, Chen Andi blocked me at the doorway. She pointed at me, her voice hoarse with agitation. You stole my stuff and now you're trying to run? Have you no shame? That bag you're carrying is obviously mine. How dare you parade around with it like that? Her words instantly drew everyone's attention. I stared at her coldly. You say this bag is yours. Do you have any proof? Chen Andy pulled over two of her roommates. They saw it with their own eyes when I brought this bag back to the dorm. They can both prove this bag is mine. Chen Andy, are you going senile or something? I had one exactly like this long before you did. You're accusing me of stealing from you? I haven't even called you out for being a copycat yet. My jab made Chen Andy's face flush with anger. Let me tell you, you're not leaving until we settle this. I looked everywhere for this bag this morning and couldn't find it. You must have stolen it. Other students in the class gathered around to see what was going on. They were all friendly with Chen Andy and looked down on me, so they quickly took her side. Suli, we're all in the same major. What good will it do you to blow this out of proportion? Just apologize and give her the bag back. Yeah, you can tell that's a designer bag. The craftsmanship is amazing. There's no way you could afford it. You stole her stuff. Just give it back and apologize. Chen Andy isn't even asking you to pay for it. Why are you being so stubborn? Listening to them chime in one after another, I realized something. There wasn't a single clear-headed person in this classroom. Believe it or not, this bag is mine. Chen Andy, since you claim I stole it, why don't you tell everyone how much you paid for it? Hearing the question, Chen Andy's eyes darted around for a second. Tens of thousands, I guess. The onlookers were shocked. Such an expensive bag. Suli, you've got some nerve. That's enough to file a police report, isn't it? Hurry up and give it back. Yeah, it's just a bag. It's not like it'll kill you to return it. I suddenly let out a small laugh. Since Chen Andy says the bag is worth tens of thousands, let's call the police. We'll let them figure it out when they get here. As soon as I mentioned the police, the classmates started trying to smooth things over. There's no need to call the cops, is there? Just give it back and this will all be over. Suli, why are you still denying it? Why make things so difficult for yourself? If you insist on making a scene, it's not going to make you look good, either. I ignored the crowd's comments and just looked at Chen Andy quietly. What's wrong? You're not scared, are you? Provoked, she predictably grabbed her phone. Why would I be scared? I'll call them right now. Suli, you stole something and you're still this shameless. Just you wait. The police arrived quickly. After we described the situation, they turned to me. Miss Su, Miss Chen says this bag is hers, and you say it's yours. She claims to have a purchase record as proof. Do you? I pulled the order form and receipt from an inner pocket of the bag. Good thing I didn't throw them away, or this would have been a real mess. Here they are. An officer took them and looked. This bag, it's worth a lot more than just tens of thousands. Chen Andy, stunned, snatched the receipt. Over 2 million? Suli, this receipt has to be fake. Where would you get the money for a bag like this? I gave a disdainful smile. Chen Andy, you can't even tell if this is the real deal? There's a QR code on the store's order form. Scan it and you'll know if it's authentic. Still not giving up, she actually took out her phone and scanned it. It's real. Just then, the proof I'd asked my butler to send me arrived. Officers, look. This is the purchase record from the boutique, and the order number matches. They checked it and nodded. It checks out. Chen Andy gritted her teeth. Impossible. Suli is just an orphan. Where would she get the money for such an expensive bag? Suddenly, I remembered something. Chen Andy, you must know that this bag is currently a limited edition, the only one in the country. Mine cost this much, so how come yours was only tens of thousands? Could it be that yours was a fake? Chen Andy had always put on the persona of a rich young lady. My question made her face turn beet red. But that just confirmed it, the one she'd had before was a fake. Finally, I had shut her up. I started my counterattack. Officers, she slandered me for no reason. Now that the truth is out, shouldn't she apologize to me? Chen Andy was still in disbelief. Impossible. Why should I apologize to you? Who knows where you got the money for this bag, or what shady things you did to get it? I'm not apologizing. I raised my hand. Officers, she's defaming me. All right, Miss Chen. This whole thing was a misunderstanding caused by you not having your facts straight. Aren't you going to apologize? The officers were clearly getting a headache from all of this. Chen Andy still refused. I don't care, I don't care. That bag can't be hers, and even if it is, she didn't get it through proper means. I couldn't stand to watch her throw a tantrum any longer. Why can't it be mine? I told you before, I was just about to reveal my identity when Shin Bufan showed up. The words on the tip of my tongue took a sharp turn. I took the initiative and linked my arm with Shin Bufan's. I'm Shin Bufan's girlfriend. Is there a problem with him buying me a bag? Shin Bufan was still in shock, clearly not having processed what was happening. At my prompting glance, he played along perfectly. That's right. What's wrong with me buying my girlfriend a bag? Mind your own business and apologize already. Now, everyone was stunned. Chen Andy clenched her jaw. She didn't dare question Shin Bufan, so she could only apologize to me meekly. I'm sorry, Suli. I misunderstood you. I apologize. I hope you can be the bigger person and not hold this against me. It was the first time I'd ever seen her so defeated, and I was ecstatic. Since you've apologized, I'll let it go. Bufan, let's go. Weren't you going to take me to dinner? Let's go together. Shin Bufan had barely said 2 words before I whisked him away. Once we were outside, his face turned beet red. Why did you suddenly just say I was your boyfriend? I blinked. Because I don't want to let Chen Andy off so easily. I'll let her find out my real identity later. Until the birthday banquet, you can just be my human shield. He didn't understand what I meant, but he trusted me unconditionally. As long as it helps you, I'll do anything. I thought Andy Chen would have learned her lesson after last time. I never expected her to double down and start spreading slut-shaming rumors about me behind my back. She claimed I was so skilled I was able to seduce Shin Bufan. She also said I was juggling several guys at once and that he was just my backup. The school's confession page is now filled with dirt on me. I had someone look into it, and it turns out, Andy Chen posted all of it. The things she said were as vile as they could be. I was stunned. As another woman, how could she not know how much damage words like that can do? Before, I just disliked Andy Chen as a person. Now, I'm questioning her entire upbringing and character. To raise someone like her family must be something else. Ever since those rumors started, I've been getting the cold shoulder at school. Everyone glares at me. No one would talk to me except for Shin Bufan. And because he spends so much time with me, people started calling him an idiot behind his back. I mean, he is a bit of a dork, but for them to label him like that just because of me, isn't that going too far? And that's not all. Some disgusting guys even started sending me friend requests, opening with a simple, "How much?" I was so furious I blocked them all. But then they posted about it on the confession page like it was some funny story, and all the comments underneath were just people laughing. I've been enduring all of this without telling my family. Shin Bufan is furious and wants to deal with it, but I stopped him. The real show hasn't even started yet. The fun is just about to begin. A few days before my birthday party, my parents sent me the guest list. I took a closer look and saw the Chens weren't on it. When I asked, I found out they simply weren't important enough to be invited to our party. Mom, Dad, let's send them an invitation. Their daughter, Chen Andy, is a classmate of mine. She's taken a special interest in me. Oh, really? In that case, we should definitely send one. And just like that, the perpetually gloomy Chen Andy suddenly got an invitation. She pranced around the dorm showing it off like a proud peacock, terrified someone might not know her family was now connected to the Shurs. I just watched her coldly, hoping her jaw wouldn't hit the floor on my birthday. On the day of the party, I was on the 2nd floor, carefully getting dressed. The guests had all arrived downstairs, and my parents were mingling with them. I opened my phone and saw Chen Andy had already posted several times on her feed. In the photos, she was smiling from ear to ear. 10 minutes later, I made a quiet entrance downstairs, appearing before Chen Andy and her parents. Suli? What are you doing here? Seeing the elaborate, gorgeous gown I was wearing and the diamond tiara on my head, she was completely dumbfounded. When my parents saw me, they excused themselves from their guests and hurried over. Sweetheart, is this the Miss Chen you mentioned, the one who looks out for you so much at school? I smiled knowingly. Yes, this is the one. The color drained from Chen Andy's face. Her parents, on the other hand, were delighted. Chairmanshire, what a surprise. I had no idea my daughter and your esteemed daughter were classmates. This is truly an honor. It's only natural for them to help each other at school. You're too kind, Miss Sure. Don't mention it, it's the least our Andy could do. My parents were about to offer a polite reply, but I cut them off with a soft laugh. Sir, ma'am, please don't misunderstand. The kind of interest Andy takes in me is, quite special. My tone was off, and the smiles froze on their faces. First, your daughter Chen Andy framed me for stealing her purse. Then she started spreading vicious rumors behind my back, calling me a slut who throws herself at any guy she sees, saying I was juggling who knows how many boyfriends at once. Honestly, I'm embarrassed to even repeat these things. I have no idea where she learned to say such stuff, spreading so many lies about me behind my back. My parents were instantly furious. Their faces turned livid with rage. Chen Andy was so scared her knees went weak. Suli, I didn't know. I was just messing around with you. I had no idea that you were really the Sure's daughter. Huh, messing around? How about I find some people to spread those same kinds of rumors about you? Would you still think it's fun then? If I wasn't a Sure, would you be apologizing to me right now? I had made my intentions clear. Mom, Dad, I'm telling you all this today because I want you to handle it for me. This isn't the first time Chen Andy has done something awful at school. I heard she bullied another student so badly they tried to kill themselves by jumping off a building. It's a good thing I have a strong will, or I might not have been able to take it either. But she acts so brazenly because she knows her parents will back her up. So, in my opinion, she's not the only one to blame. Mr. Chen's hands were trembling. Without a moment's hesitation, he slapped Chen Andy across the face. You wretched girl. I tell you to behave, and this is what you do. Scheming and doing these shameful things behind everyone's back. Now you've dragged our entire family down with you. The whole scene was incredibly ugly. My dad gave a slight raise of his hand, and several security guards appeared in an instant. Throw this family out. And spread the word, from now on, anyone who does business with the Chens is an enemy of the Shures. Just like that, the Chen family was finished. And as the one who started it all, Chen Andy's future was looking just as bleak. Once the Chens were thrown out, the ballroom felt much cleaner. My parents looked at me, a little reproachfully. You, child. Why didn't you tell us any of this was happening? I went and looped my arm through my mom's. Oh, but I just did tell you, didn't I? I wanted to see just how far she'd go, to knock her down when she was flying highest. My mom gently tapped my nose. Don't do this again. If anything happens, you tell us right away. I nodded quickly. I know. When I was 21, I had a mom and dad, and older brothers and sisters who loved me. Not far away, Shin Bufan was also watching me. I thought to myself that no one in the world could be happier than I was. I hope that everyone who reads this will have my good fortune.